Hello, my name is Lauren Placencia, and today I'll be discussing sodium cyanide. I'll break down the compound itself for those watching to get an understanding. Then I'll talk about what sodium cyanide is and where it can be found. I'll discuss the history of the compound, the human and environmental impacts of the compound, and the importance of sodium cyanide in my future career path. Sodium cyanide breakdown. The formula for sodium cyanide is NaCN. Na is known as sodium. Sodium has a positive +1 charge. Then you put brackets around sodium because it is not sharing any electrons with Cn. Now let's move on to Cn. C is known as carbon, and N is known as nitrogen. Carbon has 4 valence electrons because it is in group 4. Nitrogen has 5 valence electrons because it is in group 5. Add all the valence electrons together and you get 10. Now let's create a Lewis dot structure. To make this possible, carbon and nitrogen need 2 valence electrons each. Then for both to complete their octet, carbon and nitrogen share 3 bonds with each other to each have 8 valence electrons. See? Carbon has 8 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so does nitrogen. What is sodium cyanide and where can it be found? Here I provided a very useful chart that just kind of breaks down sodium cyanide within itself. So right here at the left, I provided how sodium cyanide is prepared and some interesting facts about sodium cyanide and its molecular weight and melting point and boiling point. And right here is what sodium cyanide looks like. Sodium cyanide has a color of white granules. Its physical state is a solid, and it has an almond-like smell. And here at the bottom right, I provided where sodium cyanide can be found. It can be found in dyes, pigments, and lots of other things. The history of sodium cyanide. The history of sodium cyanide was sparked from the literary writer C.P. Lounsbury, who brought sodium cyanide to the surface of discussion. He discovered that sodium yields more gas than potassium, and during this time in 1905, potassium cyanide was used more than sodium cyanide. After the discovery of sodium cyanide due to its efficiency, it was known as the American cyanide. Here we'll be discussing the human and environmental aspects of sodium cyanide. Overall, sodium cyanide is very toxic to both human and environmental. It even has high toxicity to birds and aquatic organisms, and even it kills predators and scavenger animals, which causes unevenness in the food chain. Importance of sodium cyanide. Sodium cyanide is a bad chemical, especially for humans. If you ever come in contact with sodium cyanide, seek medical care. My future profession, I want to be a speech pathologist. The chemical of sodium cyanide doesn't affect my career path of speech pathology directly, but if one came in contact with sodium cyanide, it can cause other health effects that would need my professional attention. So say if the patient got really sick or they suffered from other illnesses once they got into the hospital, I'd be able to provide therapy and give them rehabilitation through my speech pathology practice if anything like that would happen. But unfortunately, sodium cyanide does not have direct effect with my career path. Here I just provided references from the pictures that I used in my slides. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you for your time.